power that guides us through every moment of our lives. It is the quiet, gentle force that whispers in our hearts when we feel lost. The divine presence that tells us everything will be all right, even when we cannot yet see the path ahead. This power, this guiding light, is always with us. It never leaves us, and it is always working for our highest good. But oh, how often we forget. In moments of doubt, we feel abandoned, lost in the chaos of life's challenges. We ask, why is this happening to me? Why now? But the truth is, the answers are always there, waiting for us to pause, breathe, and listen. Every delay, every obstacle, every setback is part of a much greater plan. One that we may not fully understand at the moment, but is always leading us toward our greatest good. Trusting in God's timing requires patience, a kind of patience that goes beyond the surface and sinks deep into the soul. It is easy to become frustrated when things don't happen according to our schedule. We live in a world that pushes us to rush, to want everything instantly. But God's timing doesn't work that way. God sees the bigger picture, and what may feel like a delay is often a necessary part of the process. It is in these moments of waiting, of uncertainty, that we grow the most. When you trust that God will make a way, you are surrendering to the wisdom that knows better than your human mind. You are opening yourself to the possibilities that exist beyond what you can see. Even when the road seems blocked, trust that a way is being cleared for you, perhaps not in the way you expect, but in the way that is meant for you. Imagine a seed buried deep in the soil. It is dark, and it may seem like nothing is happening. But underneath, miracles are unfolding. The roots are spreading, the seed is growing, and soon enough it will break through the surface into the light. This is how faith works. Even in moments of darkness, trust that God is working behind the scenes, aligning everything in your favor. The breakthrough will come when the time is right, when you are ready, and not a moment before. Sometimes what we desire seems so far away as if it's not meant for us. But trust, dear heart, that what is meant for you will never miss you. When you release the need to control the outcome and instead place your faith in divine timing, life begins to flow. You stop resisting and start allowing. You begin to live in harmony with the universe, knowing that everything is happening as it should, and when the way is revealed, it will be clearer, brighter, and more beautiful than anything you could have imagined. The doors will open, the right people will come into your life, and everything will fall into place with such grace that you will know, without a doubt, that it was meant to be. So in times of uncertainty, breathe deeply, surrender your fears, your doubts, your need for control. Trust that God is making a way for you. Even if you cannot see it yet, know that you are exactly where you are meant to be, and that everything is unfolding in perfect divine timing. You are loved, you are guided, and the path before you is being clear. God will make a way always. Trust is one of the most profound and transformative forces we can embrace in life. It goes beyond the surface level understanding of relying on someone or something. Trust is a deep inner knowing that regardless of the circumstances or the challenges we face, everything is unfolding exactly as it should. It is a recognition that even in the most uncertain moments, there is a greater plan at work, one that is guided by an intelligence far beyond our comprehension. To trust is to release the need to control. We often try to dictate every aspect of our lives, holding tightly to our plans, our desires, and our expectations. We think we know what's best for us, so we map out every detail, anticipating how life should unfold. But life in its infinite wisdom has its own way of guiding us to where we truly need to be. And sometimes that journey looks different from what we envisioned. Trust requires letting go of this need to micromanage every detail of our lives. It means understanding that while we can set intentions and take action, we cannot always control the timing, the process, or the outcome. Trust is about surrendering the need for certainty and stepping into the unknown with confidence that we are being held by something far greater than ourselves. When we truly trust, we tap into a deep sense of peace. This peace doesn't come from knowing all the answers or having everything figured out. Instead, It comes from the assurance that no matter what happens, we are exactly where we are meant to be. Trust allows us to release fear and anxiety, for it assures us that the universe is always working for our highest good, even when we cannot see it. Trust doesn't guarantee that life will always be easy, or that we will never face challenges, but it does guarantee that through it all, we will be supported and guided. In moments of difficulty, it can be hard to trust. When things aren't going our way, or when life feels uncertain, we often fall into doubt. We question why things are happening the way they are, and we wonder if we're on the right path. This is where trust becomes even more essential. Trust isn't about having faith only when everything is going well. It's about holding onto that faith even in the darkest of times. It's about knowing that, even when the road ahead seems unclear, there is a path being laid out for us. We may not be able to see it yet, but trust tells us it's there, waiting to be revealed in its perfect timing. One of the most challenging aspects of trust is the element of patience. We live in a world that values instant gratification, where we expect things to happen quickly and easily. But trust requires patience. It requires us to sit in the unknown and wait for the right moment to unfold. This waiting period can be uncomfortable. Our minds like to jump to conclusions, to assume the worst, or to create stories about why things aren't happening the way we want them to. But in these moments, we are being called to strengthen our trust. We are being asked to remember that just because we cannot see progress doesn't mean that progress isn't being made. Trust teaches us that everything happens in its own time. It reminds us that delays aren't denials. They are often necessary pauses that allow things to align in ways we may not understand. Sometimes what we desire is on its way to us, but there are pieces of the puzzle that need to come together first. There are lessons we need to learn or growth that needs to occur before we can fully receive what we are asking for. Trust reminds us that we are always in the right place, at the right time, and that everything is happening for our benefit, even when it doesn't seem like it. In trusting, we learn to let go of our attachment to specific outcomes. Often we have a vision of how we think things should unfold, and we become fixated on that vision. But trust invites us to release this fixation and open ourselves up to the infinite possibilities that exist beyond what we can imagine. When we trust, we are no longer limited by our own expectations. Instead, we allow the universe to work its magic, knowing that what is meant for us will always find its way to us, often in ways more beautiful and perfect than we could have ever planned. Trust also teaches us to embrace the present moment. When we are constantly worrying about the future or replaying the past, we miss the beauty of what's happening right now. Trust brings us back to the present, reminding us that this moment is all we truly have. It encourages us to make the most of where we are, rather than getting lost in where we think we should be. When we trust, we understand that everything we need is already within us, and that the answers we seek will come in time when we are ready to receive them. To cultivate trust is to cultivate a relationship with the unknown. It is about developing a sense of faith that goes beyond logic or reason, a faith that resides deep within our hearts. This faith tells us that we are never alone, that we are always being guided, and that there is a purpose to everything we experience. Trust is an invitation to live with an open heart, to embrace uncertainty with grace, and to know that no matter what, we are supported by a divine presence that wants nothing but the best for us. Ultimately, trust is a choice. It is a choice we make every day, in every moment. We can choose to live in fear, constantly doubting and questioning the path ahead. Or we can choose to trust. We can choose to believe that life is happening for us, not to us. We can choose to let go of the need to control and instead embrace the flow of life, knowing that we are always being carried to where we are meant to be. Trust is not something we need to earn or prove. It is our birthright. It is the natural state of being that we are all meant to live in. When we trust, we align ourselves with the rhythm of the universe, and life begins to unfold with ease and grace. We stop resisting, and we start allowing. And in this space of allowing, miracles happen. Parts that were once hidden become clear. Doors that were once closed begin to open, and life takes on a new sense of purpose and meaning. So trust, not just in the good times, but in every moment. Trust that you are always being guided, always being supported, and that the universe is conspiring in your favor. Trust that everything is unfolding perfectly, even when it doesn't feel that way. And most of all, trust that you are exactly where you need to be, right here, right now. Divine timing is a concept that asks us to surrender our sense of control and trust in a higher power, knowing that everything in life unfolds exactly as it should. It is a reminder that no matter how much we plan, push, or strive, there is an order to the universe far beyond what we can see or understand. Divine timing teaches us that things happen not when we want them to, but when they are meant to, at the perfect time in the perfect way for our highest good. One of the most difficult lessons we can learn in life is patience. We often feel like we are racing against time, wanting everything to happen immediately, especially when it comes to our desires, goals, and dreams. We make plans, set deadlines, and expect life to follow our timeline. But divine timing requires us to let go of this need for immediacy. It challenges us to trust that there is a rhythm to life, one that is much wiser than our own human schedules. When we grasp for control, we are often operating from a place of fear. Fear tells us that if things don't happen, now they may never happen. Fear tells us that delays mean we are, of course, that we're missing out or being left behind. But divine timing asks us to trust that delays are not denials. They are part of a greater process. There is always a reason for why things happen when they do, even if we can't see it in the moment. Sometimes what feels like a delay is actually a gift and opportunity for us to grow, learn, or prepare in ways we hadn't considered. Think about a seed planted in the ground. We don't expect it to sprout the next day or bear fruit immediately. We understand that it takes time for the seed to germinate, for roots to grow, and for the plant to reach the surface. In the same way, divine timing allows things to develop in the unseen realms, far beyond our awareness. Just because we can't see progress doesn't mean that nothing is happening. There is so much that occurs beneath the surface before we see the results. The universe is working behind the scenes, aligning people, events, and opportunities in ways that are often beyond our comprehension. When we trust in divine timing, we begin to live with a sense of peace. We no longer feel the need to rush or force things to happen. We understand that the universe operates in perfect harmony and that everything has its season. Some seasons are for planting, some for growing, and some for harvesting. Each season serves a purpose, and none can be skipped or rushed. Divine timing teaches us that there is value in every phase of the journey, not just in the outcome. It encourages us to embrace where we are, rather than constantly striving to be somewhere else. At times, divine timing can be frustrating. We may feel like we're doing everything right, working hard, and yet things don't seem to be moving forward. In those moments, it's easy to question the process, to doubt whether what we're striving for will ever come to pass. But divine timing asks us to remain steadfast in our faith. It reminds us that just because we don't see immediate results doesn't mean we're not making progress. Sometimes the most significant growth happens in the quiet moments where nothing seems to be happening. It's during these times that we are being prepared for what's to come. Often when we look back on our lives, we can see the wisdom of divine timing in hindsight. We realize that certain things needed to happen first in order for other events to unfold. The relationships, jobs, or opportunities that didn't work out at the time may have paved the way for something better down the road. The things we once saw as obstacles or failures were actually stepping stones leading us to where we needed to be. Divine timing is always working in our favor, even when we don't realize it at the moment. Divine timing also teaches us to let go of the need to control outcomes. We may have a specific vision for how we want our lives to unfold, but life often has different plans for us, plans that are more aligned with our true purpose and growth. When we cling too tightly to our own timelines and expectations, we limit ourselves. We close off the possibility of something greater than we imagined. But when we trust in divine timing, we open ourselves up to the magic of life. We allow the universe to bring us what is truly meant for us in ways that are often far beyond what we could have planned. This concept doesn't mean that we should sit back and do nothing, waiting passively for things to happen. Divine timing works in partnership with our actions and intentions. We are co-creators with the universe, and our role is to show up fully, do the work, and take steps toward our goals. But once we've done our part, we must release the need to control the outcome and trust that the universe will take care of the rest. There is a balance between action and surrender, between effort and trust. Sometimes divine timing brings things into our lives when we least expect them. Opportunities may appear suddenly out of nowhere when we are not even looking for them. This is another reminder of the wisdom of divine timing. What is meant for us will never miss us. It may not arrive according to our schedule, but it will arrive when the time is right. And when it does, we will be ready to receive it, because we will have grown, learned, and evolved. In the process, there is also a sense of freedom that comes with trusting in divine timing. When we let go of the need to control everything, we release ourselves from the burden of constantly worrying about the future. We no longer feel the pressure to make things happen according to a strict timeline. Instead, we live in the flow of life, trusting that everything is unfolding exactly as it should. This doesn't mean that we won't face challenges or setbacks, but it does mean that we can navigate them with a sense of calm, knowing that even the difficulties serve a purpose. Divine timing encourages us to be present in the moment. When we are constantly focused on the future, we miss the beauty of what is happening right now. Trusting in divine timing allows us to save each step of the journey to appreciate where we are even as we move toward where we want to be. It reminds us that life is not just about reaching the destination. It's about experiencing the fullness of the journey along the way. Divine timing is about faith. It's about trusting that the universe has our best interests at heart, even when we can't see the full picture. It's about believing that everything is happening for us, not to us, and that each moment is part of a greater plan. When we align ourselves with divine timing, we live in harmony with the flow of life. We stop resisting and start allowing. We stop forcing and start trusting. And in that space of trust, we find peace, joy, and fulfillment beyond what we could have ever imagined. The universe is always conspiring in our favor, and divine timing is its way of guiding us to where we need to be. All we need to do is trust the process, let go of our need to control, and allow life to unfold in its own beautiful, perfect way. God's plan is an idea that brings comfort, hope, and the sense of purpose to those who believe that their lives are guided by a higher power. It is the belief that God has a divine blueprint for each of us, a plan that unfolds in its own time, often in ways we do not fully understand. This plan is not random or arbitrary. It is purposeful, designed for our growth, happiness, and ultimate fulfillment. Trusting in God's plan means recognizing that our lives have meaning beyond the surface of day-to-day experiences, and that every event, whether joyful or painful, serves a higher purpose. One of the most powerful aspects of God's plan is that it reminds us that we are not alone, no matter what we are going through. No matter how difficult or uncertain our circumstances, there is a greater force at work behind the scenes, guiding and supporting us. Life can sometimes feel overwhelming, and we may find ourselves questioning why certain things happen the way they do. But trusting in God's plan requires us to surrender those questions and have faith that there is a reason, even if we cannot see it in the moment. When we talk about God's plan, we are also talking about the idea of surrender. Surrendering to God's plan doesn't mean giving up or resigning ourselves to whatever happens. Rather, it is about releasing the need to control every aspect of our lives and trusting that God knows what is best for us. It is about believing that the challenges and setbacks we face are not obstacles, but opportunities for growth. We may not always understand why things happen the way they do, but in time, we often look back and see that those very challenges were what shaped us into who we are meant to become. God's plan is not always easy to accept, especially when life throws unexpected hardships our way. We might ask, why is this happening to me? What did I do to deserve this? These are natural questions when we face pain or adversity. But within God's plan, there is often a lesson or a blessing hidden in those difficult moments. Sometimes God allows us to go through challenges not to punish us, but to strengthen us. These are moments of transformation, where we learn patience, resilience, and compassion qualities that we may not have developed otherwise. Trusting in God's plan also means letting go of the need for immediate answers. In a world where we are accustomed to quick solutions and instant gratification, waiting for clarity or resolution can be incredibly difficult. But God's plan operates on a divine timeline, not ours. There are times when we must be patient and trust that God is working things out for our good, even when it doesn't seem like it. Often the answers or breakthroughs we seek come when we least expect them, at exactly the right time, when we are truly ready to receive them. One of the most profound aspects of God's plan is that it is uniquely tailored to each individual. No two journeys are exactly the same. What God has planned for one person may be completely different from what He has planned for another. This means that we cannot compare our lives or our progress to anyone else's. God's plan for us is personal, designed specifically for our own growth, healing, and purpose. It is a reminder that we are each special in the eyes of God, and that our lives have value even when we feel lost or insignificant. There are times when God's plan may lead us down paths we never expected to take. We might have dreams and goals that seem perfectly reasonable to us, but God may have something else in store. When life doesn't go according to our plans, it can be frustrating and confusing, but often those detours are actually leading us towards something greater than we could have ever imagined. God's plan is not limited by our human understanding. It is expansive, full of possibilities beyond our comprehension. Sometimes what we perceive as failure or disappointment is actually a redirection, a way of steering us towards something better aligned with our true purpose. God's plan also encompasses the people we meet and the relationships we form. Sometimes people enter our lives for a specific reason to help us grow or to teach us something important. At other times, people may leave our lives, and while this can be painful, it is also part of God's plan. Each person we encounter is part of a larger tapestry, weaving together the lessons, love, and experiences that shape who we are. In trusting God's plan, we begin to see that every interaction has meaning, every relationship observes a purpose, and every connection is part of a divine design. Another important aspect of God's plan is the role of free will. God gives us the freedom to make choices, to act according to our own desires and intentions. However, even when we make mistakes or take paths that lead us away from God, His plan is still at work. God's grace allows us to return to the path He has set for us, no matter how far we may stray. This is a profound reminder that nothing we do can separate us from God's love or from the plan He has for us. Even when we make decisions that seem to delay or disrupt our progress, God is always there, ready to guide us back to where we are meant to be. Sometimes God's plan includes waiting. Waiting can be one of the most challenging aspects of faith. We might pray for something and feel like our prayers are going unanswered. But in those moments of waiting, God is often preparing us for what's to come. The waiting period is not wasted time. It is a time of growth, a time when our faith is strengthened and our trust in God deepens. Waiting teaches us patience and humility, reminding us that we are not in control, but that God is, and His timing is perfect. There is also comfort in knowing that God's plan is rooted in love. Everything God does is out of love for us. Even when we face difficulties, God's love is present, guiding us through. He does not abandon us in our struggles. Instead, He walks with us, carrying us when we cannot carry ourselves. His plan is always for our good, even when it doesn't feel that way in the moment. When we trust in God's plan, we can rest in the assurance that we are always loved, always supported, and always deported by a higher power that knows what we need better than we do. Trusting in God's plan brings a sense of peace. When we stop trying to control every detail of our lives and surrender to God's will, we find freedom. We no longer have to carry the weight of the world on our shoulders, because we know that God is in control. This doesn't mean that life will always be easy or that we won't face challenges, but it does mean that we can face those challenges with a sense of calm, knowing that God has a plan for us. This peace comes from the deep understanding that we are exactly where we are meant to be, and that everything in our lives is unfolding according to God's perfect timing and purpose. God's plan is a profound source of hope and faith. It reminds us that our lives are not random, that we are not alone, and that everything we experience has meaning. It encourages us to trust, to be patient, and to surrender our need for control, knowing that God's love is guiding us every step of the way. Guidance, particularly in the context of faith and spirituality, serves as a profound and comforting concept. It refers to the subtle and often unseen ways in which we are directed, protected, and supported throughout our lives. It is the belief that a higher power such as God is continuously offering us help, showing us the way, and providing us with clarity when we need it most. Trusting in guidance means accepting that we are not navigating life on our own, but that we are being led, even when we are unaware of it. One of the most beautiful aspects of guidance is that it often appears in unexpected forms. It might come through a quiet feeling or intuition, nudging us toward a decision or a way from a path that no longer serves us. At other times, guidance can show up through the words of a friend, the pages of a book, or even through a challenge that forces us to rethink our approach. When we are open to receiving guidance, we begin to notice that it can arrive at any moment, in ways both large and small. Guidance is inherently linked to trust. To fully benefit from guidance, we must trust that the direction we are being shown is in our best interest, even when it may not make sense in the moment. Sometimes we are guided down paths that feel unfamiliar or uncomfortable. These paths may challenge our sense of security, pushing us out of our comfort zones. However, it is often in these moments of discomfort that the most significant growth occurs. Trusting the guidance we receive means believing that there is wisdom in the journey. Even if the destination is unclear, it is important to remember that guidance doesn't always come with loud fanfare or dramatic signs. In fact, it is often quiet and subtle, requiring us to cultivate stillness and attentiveness in order to recognize it. In today's fast-paced world, it can be easy to miss these gentle nudges if we are caught up in the noise and distractions of daily life. Taking time to slow down, practice mindfulness, or engage in prayer or meditation can help us attune to the guidance that is always available to us. It is in these moments of stillness that we can hear the whispers of our soul and the divine direction that is being offered. For many people, seeking guidance from God is an act of prayer. Prayer is not just about asking for what we want, but also about listening for answers, direction, and insight. When we pray for guidance, we open ourselves up to receiving divine wisdom, trusting that God will illuminate the way forward. However, the answers we seek may not come immediately, and they may not always be what we expect. This is where faith comes in, believing that the guidance we need will arrive at the right time, in the right form, even if it takes longer than we would like. Another important aspect of guidance is the idea of surrender. Sometimes we resist the guidance we are given because it doesn't align with our own plans or desires. We might want to take a certain path, pursue a specific goal, or cling to a situation that feels comfortable, even if it's no longer right for us. But when we surrender to the guidance we receive, we allow ourselves to be led in the direction that is truly best for us, even if it requires letting go of our preconceived notions. This surrender is not a sign of weakness, but of strength, as it demonstrates our trust in the greater wisdom of God's plan. The beauty of guidance is that it is always available, no matter where we are in life or what we are going through. Even when we feel lost or uncertain, there is guidance waiting for us if we are willing to open our hearts and listen. Often we may feel like we are wandering without direction, unsure of the next steps to take. But during these times, it is important to remember that we are never truly lost. We are simply in the process of discovering the guidance that is meant for us. It is in these moments of uncertainty that we are invited to deepen our faith and trust that clarity will come when the time is right. Another powerful aspect of guidance is the way it connects us to our inner wisdom. While divine, guidance may come from external sources through people, signs, or circumstances, it also often arises from within. We each have an inner compass, a deep sense of knowing that can guide us if we take the time to listen to it. This inner wisdom is often aligned with the guidance we receive from God, as it is through our connection to the divine that we are able to access this deeper sense of truth. By tuning into our inner guidance, we can make decisions that are in alignment with our highest good and the path that has been laid out for us. It is also important to recognize that guidance can come in phases. Sometimes we are given only a small piece of the puzzle, a single step, to take rather than the full picture. This can be frustrating, especially when we are eager to know the entire plan. But guidance often comes one step at a time, asking us to trust in the process and take action based on the information we have in the moment. As we continue to follow the guidance we receive, more of the path is revealed to us. It is like walking through a fog, where we can only see a few feet ahead, but with each step the path becomes clearer. Guidance also invites us to embrace flexibility and adaptability. Life is constantly changing, and what may have been the right direction for us at one point may no longer be the best path. As we grow and evolve, the guidance we receive may shift, encouraging us to take a different approach or explore new opportunities. When we are open to this shifting guidance, we allow ourselves to move with the flow of life rather than resisting it. Flexibility in following guidance allows us to align more fully with the divine timing and purpose that is unfolding in our lives. Guidance is a reminder of the interconnectedness of all things. When we receive guidance, it is not just for our benefit, but for the greater good of those around us. Our actions, decisions, and choices have a ripple effect, influencing the people we encounter and the world we live in. By following the guidance we receive, we are not only aligning with our own path, but we are also contributing to the greater tapestry of life. This interconnectedness reminds us that we are all part of something larger than ourselves, and that the guidance we receive is part of a divine plan that encompasses all of creation. Guidance is a powerful force that is always available to us. It is the divine direction that helps us navigate the complexities of life, offering us clarity, support, and wisdom when we need it most. By trusting in this guidance, surrendering to its wisdom, and remaining open to its many forms, we can move through life with greater confidence and peace, knowing that we are always being led toward our highest good. Patience is one of the most powerful virtues we can cultivate in life. It serves as a quiet strength, allowing us to endure challenges, wait for the right moment, and trust in the unfolding of our experiences. Patience is not just about waiting, it's about how we wait. It's about cultivating a sense of peace and acceptance during moments of uncertainty, when the things we desire or haven't yet materialized. It's the recognition that things don't always happen according to our timeline, but that everything will unfold as it should in due time. The essence of patience is deeply intertwined with trust in ourselves in the process of life, and in the divine timing that governs all things. When we lack patience, we often become anxious, frustrated, and restless, trying to force outcomes or push things to happen before they are ready. In contrast, when we embrace patience, we understand that forcing outcomes can often lead to disappointment or unintended consequences. There's a wisdom in stepping back, taking a deep breath, and allowing things to unfold naturally, knowing that what is meant for us will arrive at the perfect time. Patience invites us to live in the present moment. So often, impatience stems from a desire to rush into the future, to reach a particular destination, or to achieve a certain result as quickly as possible. In doing so, we miss the beauty and lessons that exist in the present. When we practice patience, we shift our focus from an anxious fixation on the future to a more grounded and mindful appreciation of the present. We begin to recognize that every step along the journey is valuable, and that even the waiting has a purpose. By staying present, we create the space for personal growth, self-reflection, and deeper understanding. At its core, patience is an act of surrender. It's an acknowledgement that while we can set intentions, take action, and strive toward our goals, There are forces at play beyond our control. It's about recognizing that we cannot always determine the when or the how, all of the outcomes we desire, but we can trust that life for God has its own timeline. This surrender does not mean giving up on our dreams or desires, but rather letting go of the need to control every detail of how they manifest. It means releasing the anxiety that comes with wanting everything to happen immediately and learning to trust that things are unfolding exactly as they should, even if we can't see it in the moment. Patience also teaches us resilience. In life, we encounter obstacles, delays, and challenges that test our resolve. These experiences are often frustrating, but they also offer an opportunity for growth. When we practice patience, we build emotional and mental strength. We learn how to cope with disappointment, how to navigate setbacks, and how to maintain hope even when the path ahead seems unclear. Through patience, we develop the resilience needed to persevere, knowing that setbacks are not the end of the road, but simply a part of the journey. With time, we come to understand that patience allows us to weather the storms of life with grace. An important element of patience is the ability to delay gratification. In a world that often emphasizes instant results, patience teaches us the value of waiting. It reminds us that not everything of worth comes quickly or easily. Some of the most meaningful achievements, relationships, and experiences take time to develop. The process of waiting and working towards something over time builds character, deepens appreciation, and makes the eventual reward all the more fulfilling. When we delay gratification, we strengthen our ability to stay focused on long-term goals rather than being distracted by short-term desires or immediate pleasures. Patience, however, is not passive. It does not mean sitting idly by, waiting for life to happen to us. Instead, it's an active state of being, a conscious choice to remain calm, composed, and trusting even in the face of delays or difficulties. It involves cultivating a sense of faith that while we may not have all the answers right now, we are on the right path, and the answers will come when the time is right. Patience also requires us to stay engaged with the process, continuing to take steps toward our goals, even if the results aren't immediate. It's about finding a balance between action and surrender, knowing when to move forward and when to wait. The beauty of patience is that it also enhances our relationships with others. In our interactions with people, impatience can lead to misunderstandings, frustration, and conflict. When we are quick to judge or expect immediate responses, we may overlook the complexities of other people's lives and experiences. Patience allows us to approach relationships with more compassion, understanding, and empathy. It gives us the ability to listen fully, to give others the space they need, and to allow relationships to develop at their own pace. In this way, patience fosters deeper connections and more harmonious interactions. Patience also nurtures self-compassion. Just as we must be patient with others, we must learn to be patient with ourselves. Growth, healing, and self-improvement are processes that take time, and it's easy to become frustrated with ourselves when we don't see immediate progress. But patience reminds us to be gentle with ourselves, to honor our own journey, and to recognize that personal transformation doesn't happen overnight. By practicing patience, we create the space for our own evolution, allowing ourselves to make mistakes, learn from them, and continue moving forward without harsh self-judgment. In the realm of spirituality, patience is often seen as a virtue that aligns us with divine timing. When we trust in a higher power, we understand that the timing of events in our lives is part of a larger plan. This perspective shifts our understanding of delays and obstacles, helping us see them not as setbacks, but as opportunities for growth, learning, and preparation. Patience, in this sense, is an act of faith, believing that there is a greater wisdom at work, and that everything is happening for our highest good, even if we can't see the full picture. Patience cultivates a sense of inner peace. When we let go of the need to rush through life, we create space for stillness, reflection, and acceptance. This inner calm allows us to move through life with more ease and grace, trusting that everything is unfolding as it should. Patience helps us release the tension and anxiety that often accompany impatience, replacing it with a deeper sense of peace and contentment. we begin to realize that life is not a race, but a journey, and that there is beauty in the waiting as much as there is in the arrival. Patience is a profound and transformative quality that touches every aspect of our lives. It invites us to slow down, trust the process, and embrace the journey even when the outcome is uncertain. By cultivating patience, we strengthen our ability to navigate life's challenges, enhance our relationships, and deepen our connection to ourselves and the divine. Through patience, we learn that life unfolds in its own time, and that by trusting in this timing, we can find peace, joy, and fulfillment along the way. A breakthrough is often seen as a moment of great realization, change, or progress, but it's much more than that. It represents a pivotal shift, a moment when everything that has been building finally comes together, and what seemed impossible suddenly becomes achievable. Breakthroughs come in various forms, whether they are personal, spiritual, professional, or emotional, and they often occur after periods of struggle, uncertainty, or stagnation. These moments of clarity or achievement can reshape our perception, help us transcend our limitations, and propel us toward new levels of understanding and growth. The process leading to a breakthrough is rarely easy. It often involves frustration, moments of doubt, and a sense of being stuck or hitting a wall. But it's important to recognize that this struggle is a necessary part of the journey. The very challenges and obstacles we face are what prepare us for that moment of revelation. Much like how diamonds are formed, under pressure, breakthroughs often arise when we've been tested and pushed to our limits. The key is to remain patient and persistent, trusting that the breakthrough will come in its own time, even when we can't yet see the way forward. Breakthroughs are not just external achievements or visible successes. They often start as internal shifts. Before we experience tangible changes in our lives, we first need to undergo a mental or emotional transformation. This might involve letting go of limiting beliefs, embracing a new perspective, or developing a deeper level of self-awareness. In fact, some of the most profound breakthroughs occur in the realm of our own mindset. When we change how we think and feel about ourselves and our circumstances, we open up new possibilities for growth and success. It's in this internal shift that true breakthroughs are born. One of the most powerful aspects of a breakthrough is that it often occurs when we least expect it. We might spend weeks, months, or even years working toward a goal, or searching for an answer, feeling as though we're making little progress. And then suddenly, something clicks. It's as if a door that was once locked has finally opened, and we are able to step through to the other side. This moment of clarity or success can feel almost magical. But it's important to remember that it is the result of all the hard work and perseverance that came before it. A breakthrough may seem sudden, but it is always the culmination of effort, patience, and persistence. Another important aspect of breakthroughs is that they are deeply personal. What represents a breakthrough for one person may not hold the same significance for someone else. Each of us is on our own unique journey, and the moments that feel transformative to us are tied to our individual experiences, challenges, and aspirations. For some, a breakthrough might be a major career advancement or the achievement of a long-held goal. For others, it might be the resolution of a personal struggle, the healing of a relationship, or the discovery of a deeper sense of purpose. Regardless of the form it takes, a breakthrough is always meaningful because it represents growth, change, and the realization of potential. In the context of spiritual growth, breakthroughs often come when we surrender control and place our trust in a higher power. We may spend a lot of time trying to force things to happen or searching for answers outside ourselves, only to find that the breakthrough occurs when we let go and allow divine guidance to lead the way. This kind of breakthrough can bring a sense of peace, clarity, and alignment with our true path. It reminds us that we are supported by something greater than ourselves, and that the timing of our breakthrough is often beyond our control. Trusting in this process allows us to remain open to the guidance and opportunities that will lead to our breakthrough. While breakthroughs can feel exhilarating, it's also important to acknowledge that they don't mark the end of the journey. In many ways, a breakthrough is just the beginning. It opens the door to new opportunities, challenges, and growth. Once we've experienced a breakthrough, we are often called to continue, pushing ourselves, expanding our horizons, and striving for even greater levels of understanding and achievement. Breakthroughs offer us the chance to step into a new phase of our lives, but they also come with the responsibility of maintaining the momentum and continuing to move forward. Breakthroughs also teach us the value of resilience. In order to experience a breakthrough, we must often endure periods of difficulty, frustration, and uncertainty. These experiences can be challenging, but they also help to strengthen us and prepare us for the moment of transformation. When we look back on our breakthrough moments, we can see that the struggles we faced were not in vain, they were a necessary part of the process. The obstacles we encounter along the way often contain valuable lessons that contribute to our growth, and without them, we might not be fully prepared for the breakthrough when it arrives. In relationships, breakthroughs can take the form of deepened understanding, healing, or reconciliation. When we are willing to communicate openly, to listen with empathy, and to let go of past grievances, we create the conditions for a breakthrough in connection. This might involve overcoming misunderstandings, breaking down walls of defensiveness, or finding common ground after a period of conflict. Relationship breakthroughs can be some of the most rewarding because they bring us closer to others and foster a sense of unity, trust, and mutual respect. In these moments, we realize that the effort we've put into the relationship has not been wasted, and that healing and growth are always possible. In the realm of personal growth, breakthroughs often come when we confront and overcome our own fears or self-imposed limitations. We all carry beliefs and patterns that hold us back, whether it's a fear of failure, a lack of confidence, or a belief that we are not worthy of success. A breakthrough occurs when we challenge these limiting beliefs and step into our full potential. This process requires courage, self-reflection, and a willingness to step outside our comfort zones. But once we break through these barriers, we experience a newfound sense of freedom and empowerment. Ultimately, breakthroughs remind us of our own resilience and potential. They show us that no matter how difficult the journey may seem, there is always the possibility of transformation and progress. Breakthroughs are moments of celebration, but they are also moments of profound realization. They reveal to us that we are capable of more than we ever imagined. Whether it's in our personal lives, our relationships, our careers, or our spiritual journeys, breakthroughs offer us the opportunity to step into a new chapter, one that is filled with greater possibility, growth, and fulfillment. A breakthrough is more than just a moment of achievement. It is a testament to our perseverance, our willingness to evolve, and our ability to trust the process. Breakthroughs remind us that no matter how long the road may seem, there is always light at the end of the tunnel. And when that light finally shines, it illuminates not only the path ahead, but also the strength we've developed along the way. Faith is the cornerstone of a peaceful, fulfilled life. It's the invisible thread that connects us to the unseen, the unknown, and the divine plan that is always at work, even when we cannot see it. Faith is about trusting something bigger than ourselves, believing that there is a greater purpose behind everything we experience, and knowing that we are always being guided toward our highest good. It's a deep inner knowing that no matter how challenging or uncertain the circumstances may be, everything will eventually work out as it's meant to. Faith isn't passive. It requires active participation. It's the belief that despite the external appearances of our current situation, there is something greater at work behind the scenes, something we can't yet see or fully understand. Faith asks us to hold on when things get tough, to trust when the future seems uncertain, and to keep moving forward, even when we don't have all the answers. It's about releasing control over the outcome and trusting that what is meant for us will come in the right time and in the right way. Often, faith is strongest in moments of doubt or fear. It's easy to have faith when things are going well, but the real test comes when life presents us with challenges. These are the moments when we must dig deep and remember that our circumstances are temporary, that there is a purpose behind every trial, and that we are being shaped and prepared for something greater. Faith doesn't eliminate the difficulties, but it gives us the strength to face them. knowing that we are supported and guided every step of the way. Having faith also means believing in our own abilities and trusting that we have what it takes to overcome whatever obstacles may arise. It's the voice inside that tells us we are capable, that we are worthy, and that we can achieve our goals. When we have faith in ourselves, we are more resilient, more confident, and more willing to take risks and step outside our comfort zones. We trust that no matter what happens, we will be able to handle it and grow from the experience. At its core, faith is about surrendering to the unknown and trusting that everything happens for a reason. It's a powerful force that enables us to stay grounded in the present moment. Even when the future seems unclear, with faith, we can release the need to control every aspect of our lives and instead allow life to unfold naturally. We trust that we are being led in the right direction and that the universe is always working in our favor. Even when things don't seem to be going according to plan, surrender, like faith, is about letting go of the need to control, the need to know, and the need to be certain. It's about releasing the tight grip we have on our lives and allowing things to unfold as they are meant to. Surrender doesn't mean giving up. It means trusting in the flow of life and believing that we are being guided by a force greater than ourselves. When we surrender, we stop trying to force outcomes and instead allow the universe to work its magic in its own time and in its own way. Surrender requires us to release our attachment to specific outcomes. Often we become so focused on achieving a particular result or having things go a certain way that we close ourselves off to other possibilities. We try to control every aspect of our lives, thinking that if we just work hard enough or plan carefully enough, we can make everything happen exactly as we want it to. But life doesn't always work that way. There are forces at play that are beyond our control, and sometimes the best thing we can do is step back, let go, and trust that things will work out as they are meant to. Surrendering is not about passivity or giving up on our goals. It's about releasing the need to control every detail and trusting that what is meant for us will find its way to us. When we surrender, we open ourselves up to new possibilities, new opportunities, and new ways of thinking. We stop resisting the natural flow of life and instead allow ourselves to be guided by our intuition and by the universe. Surrender is a powerful act of trust. It's the ultimate expression of faith. When we surrender, we stop trying to force things to happen and instead allow the universe to guide us. We let go of the struggle, the resistance, and the fear. And in doing so, we create space for miracles to occur. Surrendering doesn't mean we stop taking action. It means we take inspired action, trusting that we are being guided every step of the way. It means we stop trying to control the outcome and instead focus on the present moment, trusting that the path will unfold before us as it's meant to. Surrendering also involves letting go of our ego's need for control and certainty. Our ego wants to know the outcome, wants to be in control, and wants things to go exactly as planned. But life is full of surprises, and often the things we think we want are not what's best for us in the long run. When we surrender, we release the need for everything to go according to our ego's plan, and instead, we trust that the universe has a better plan in store for us. We let go of the how and the when and focus on staying open and receptive to whatever comes our way. Surrendering can be challenging, especially in moments of uncertainty or difficulty. It's natural to want to hold on tightly to what we know or to try to control the outcome of a situation. But true surrender comes when we release that need for control and instead trust that everything is happening for our highest good. It's about embracing the unknown and trusting that we are being led to something even better than we could have imagined. In moments of surrender, we often find that things start to fall into place effortlessly. When we stop trying to force things to happen and instead allow the universe to guide us, we open ourselves up to synchronicities, opportunities, and blessings that we may not have been able to see before. Surrendering allows us to step into a state of flow, where things unfold naturally and with ease. Surrender is an act of self-love. It's about trusting that we are worthy of all the good that is coming our way and that we don't need to force or control anything to receive it. It's about knowing that we are always supported, always guided, and always in the right place at the right time. When we surrender, we align ourselves with the flow of life and open ourselves up to receive the abundance, joy, and love that the universe has in store for us. In conclusion, life is a journey of faith, trust, and surrender. We are all part of a divine plan that is unfolding in ways we may not always understand. But when we lean into our faith, trust in the timing of the universe, and release the need to control every detail, we open ourselves to greater peace and fulfillment. Through faith, we discover the strength to navigate challenges, knowing that we are guided by a force much greater than ourselves. Trust teaches us to embrace the unknown, allowing life to flow naturally, while surrender liberates us from the pressures of forcing outcomes. God's plan is always working for our highest good, even when it seems hidden. Patience is key as we wait for the right moments to unfold, knowing that each delay is purposeful and aligned with our growth. Breakthroughs come when we least expect them, often after periods of waiting and trusting. The guidance we seek is always present, quietly leading us toward our best path. And in this process, we learn the power of letting go, of releasing our fears and worries, and stepping into a space where miracles can happen. By trusting in divine timing, surrendering to the flow of life, and keeping faith in our hearts, we invite in peace, clarity, and the realization that everything we need is already on its way. All we have to do is trust, remain patient, and allow the universe to work its wonders in our lives.